created some offense.
So Pat Evans going to toss it up here, and we are underway in our second semifinal. Panthers in the white start on offense.
They love to drive the ball to the basket. They create a lot of opportunities as a result of getting their offense up high, and then, of course, they'll skip it and shoot the three. But they all shoot the three, but and they'll use ball screens as well.
8 on the shot clock. Jeff Thomas hits his first shot of this ball game. He continues his big run in this tournament as we take a look at the First Bank and Trust starting 5 for the Eagles. And number 4, Toukie Brown, 23 points, 5 assists in the last meeting between these two teams. An 85-80 win for the Eagles in Statesboro.
Thomas shoots 54% of his shots from three-point land, and you're right, he nailed that one.
Brown brings it across for Georgia Southern. Hughes had it stripped away, and Mitchell picks it up for the Panthers.
Hughes is one of those players that's got to really show up big today, along with Brown.
And a foul is going to be called on Simons.
Panthers will play a 2-3 matchup. They'll adjust it from time to time. But the Eagles are going to go against the zone all afternoon.
On the shot clock. Ike Smith with 4. Alsmiller with 2.
You know, Matt, it didn't end up pretty, but I thought the Eagles did a good job of penetrating, creating some problems, but they bypassed the shots and didn't let that clock run down on them.
Simons the miss and Simmons the rebound for the Eagles.
Simmons did a good job last night.
Alsmiller banks it in.
Got some buckets early. Used that strong body of his. And Alsmiller's going to have to find some shooting range today and help this team against this zone.
Rebound by Session. Thomas hits the 3 as you take a look at the First Bank and Trust starting 5, and Jeff Thomas with 19 points on 8 of 12 shooting against Troy, and continues the hot hand against the Eagles here today.
Ike Smith is limping. I don't know whether he twisted a knee or an ankle or exactly what he did do, but he's coming out.
And you'll remember that Ike Smith missed 5 games earlier in the season with an ankle injury. And this is a Georgia Southern team that's been hit hard by injuries, as we already pointed out. Monte Glenn with the knee injury on Wednesday in practice is out for the rest of this tournament.
A lot of ball fakes, a lot of dribble penetration, ball screens. Flashing through that thing. They're doing it all right now.
Quan Jackson with 3 on the clock, knocks down the 3. 1-point lead for Georgia State. Nearly stolen by Alsmiller. They're a man down on defense. Ben Levy will take advantage of it. Shoots wildly off the backboard. Mitchell picks it up for Georgia State.
It was a good gamble. He just didn't quite get it.
Mitchell, third team all Sun Belt. Wild shot there. Toukie Brown on the break for the Eagles. Alsmiller trailing on the 3. In and out. Session the rebound for Georgia State.
Alsmiller, 93% of his shots come from there. That's a good shot for him.
Simons stays with it, missed the layup. Good defense by the Eagles. Tukey Brown, long outlet pass to Quan Jackson, misses the reverse layup. Went for the home run right there and just missed.
I was surprised they didn't call common ball on Simons on that last penetration.
Devin Mitchell, rebound by Quan Jackson, very active here in the early going. Quan Jackson, the redshirt freshman. Tukey Brown misses the runner inside. Coy Simmons off glass, and the Eagles on top by 1.
That old story, the penetration, the defense all went to him, and Simons just did a good job of just cleaning it up.
Simons inside, a whistle and a foul is going to be called on the Eagles, and a technical foul on Coy Simmons, who lost his cool and slammed the ball into the court.
He knew as soon as he did it, he was in trouble, you know, and he just turned it. I blew that one.
Opening 4.5 minutes, Eagles on top. Back into the championship game for the first time since 2015 when Georgia State beat Georgia Southern 38-36 to reach the NCAA tournament. Mark Byington, the head coach of the Georgia Southern Eagles in his 5th season, recently had his contract extended, so congratulations to him on that. Led the Eagles to their second 20-win season in the last 4 years. And Coy Simmons, after being called for the personal foul, was hit with the technical, so Jeff Thomas taking the technical free throws first.
I don't know whether he was mad at himself or it looks like he was mad at the official, and as soon as the ball bounced, he was repentant. He realized, I've crossed that line.
So Simmons goes to the bench, having picked up 2 fouls here. Now Simons will take the foul free throws. 2 shots here for him.
Simons gets to the line on the average of 6 times a game, which clearly indicates that he's taking the ball and creating a lot of problems for the defense as well as just making baskets.
Right at 200 free throw attempts on the season for Simons. 9-7 lead for Georgia State.
Bit of half-court trap. Defense was, Simons was too far off to make that feed. You got to get into the defense before you can throw that ball up.
Eagles have started 3 for 7 in their shooting. Georgia State 2 for 8. Both these teams shot very well at the start of the game yesterday. A little bit slower starts here this afternoon in the semifinal. Winner advances to play UTA, and Sessions slams it out of bounds.
I like their movement, though. I like their penetration. Sessions did a great job of coming over and blocking the shot. Good defense, and there's good purpose on offense right now.
4 on the shot clock. Hughes has to go with 2. Hughes gets in the paint, hit the iron, gets his own miss. Alsmiller, 3-pointer. And O'Connell, I believe, touched it last for the Eagles. Alsmiller had 8 3-pointers in their regular season finale win against Troy. He'll come out, and B.J. Gladden will come in for him. Alsmiller started 0 for 3 on his threes in this game. The Eagles collectively 1 for 4.
Now, Gladden was more of a driver. He's not a 3-point shooter. So they've changed the makeup of the basketball team right now.
Isaiah Williams, number 11 in the game for Georgia State, being guarded by Brown. Ball poked away by Quan Jackson. So 13 seconds on the shot clock for Georgia State, and they are up 2. Big rivalry game to decide who gets to the championship game.
Yeah, bragging rights.
More than bragging rights, a spot in the final. I think Mark Byington kind of summed it up best when he talked to Whitney Hayworth at the end of yesterday's game. Sessions inside with the slam, and Georgia State goes up 4. He said this is bigger than rivalry. This is for a spot to get to the NCAA tournament with the championship game victory tomorrow.
Can't argue that. Defense got spread out and up high, and there was nobody to help on the screen and roll.
Pookie Brown kicks out Quan Jackson. Shot fake, fumbled it. Ends up with it. Brown takes a three. And Benlevy with the rebound. Brown has really struggled. He was 3 for 10 shooting yesterday, and all of his makes were layups.
And he was shooting on the way down. You got an offensive foul there.
Isaiah Williams whistled for the foul, number 1 on him. Second team foul on Georgia State.
You'll see the screen and roll, and then Sessions just rolled right down the lane. And the offense was up, and so the defense was up, and there was nobody to help.
And without Monte Glenn, you got to be worried about that. You got a little bit soft in the middle because you don't have the size that you typically do with Monte Glenn in the game.
And who's ever in that spot usually is not in that spot. So
Simon steals it away. There was a lot of contact, and finally a whistle, and the whistle goes against Ike Smith.
And Gladden is trying to plead his case to the official that he came right over me and hooked my arm, which he did do, but the official chose to let it go. Right there, his left arm goes down to his side, and not by choice.
So Ike Smith picks up his first personal foul. 3 team fouls on Georgia Southern. Session kick out, Benlevy. They whip it around to Isaiah Williams in the corner. That's a three-pointer for Williams. His first of the game, the third for the Panthers. They go up by 7.
And 54% of his shots come from there. So the ball was reversed to him quickly, and he was able to get it off.
8-0 run for Georgia State. Brown drops it off and throws it right to Ron Hunter. Look at Coach Hunter. Gets his first steal of the game.
There you go.
You'll remember it was the Georgia Southern victory in the championship game of the 2015 tournament where he famously tore his Achilles heel celebrating.
Yeah, I know, and he could have done it there again. He's not getting any younger.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You got to be careful when you get to be our age. Williams drives the baseline, kick out, Benlevy, 8 on the shot clock. He's going to drive and whistle and a foul going against the Eagles here. David Lee Jones picks up the foul. That'll be number 1 on him, and now 4 team fouls on Georgia Southern.
Jones, you got to understand, you stick that hand in there, and they're going to call it in that situation. Again, the Panthers are going back to that drive, drive, drive. And the other thing, the Eagles are trying to take the ball screens away from them by getting up what we call on the high side and funneling the ball handler towards the baseline.
Benlevy grew up down in southeast Georgia near the Georgia Southern campus. He's from Savannah, went to Jenkins High School. He missed both free throws. Alsmiller, another three-point attempt. This one's off the iron, and we have a whistle. Foul going against Georgia State here, I believe.
I think Alsmiller early was using shot fakes, letting that defense fly by him and getting in a little closer, and I think he needs to continue to do that. He was rushing on that shot.
Jeff Thomas called for the foul. That's 3 team fouls now on the Panthers. They're on an 8-0 run over the last 3 minutes. Eagles have missed their last 5 shots. Gladden gets in there. That's 6 shots in a row. He got stripped, goes back up with it. Shot challenged and blocked at the rim by Tyson. Thomas in the corner. That's a three-pointer. Got knocked down. David Lee Jones picks up his second foul, and Thomas is going to go to the line for 3 free throws. Georgia State out to a 7-point lead in the opening 8 minutes.
Special partnership with the American Cancer Society.
And Jeff Thomas will be at the line for 3 free throws when action resumes. Georgia Southern now close to 4 minutes without scoring. They've missed their last 7 shots, just not getting a lot of continuity out of their offense right now. They are hitting the offensive glass hard, and they are missing Monte Glenn who's the #2 offensive rebounder in the country. So in that regard, they're taking care of that. They're just not hitting shots. They're 3 for 14 to start the game.
Yeah, and Alsmiller hasn't been able to get it down, and they're really rushing him, and he's got to be clever with it. I think their penetration into the gaps is good. They haven't been able to have anybody pull up short and take the jump shot. They're kicking the ball back out, and pretty soon Georgia State's going to start reading some of those passes and taking them away from us.
Thomas now has 10 points, 29 in the tournament already. Whitney, what did Coach Byington tell his guys in the huddle?
He said, be yourselves. He said, do not get caught up in what's not important. Georgia State is not playing that great. He said the difference is the Panthers aren't getting frustrated when things don't go their way.
Hughes at the foul line, air ball.
That's a shot I was talking about, too. But how can you airball a 15-footer with his skill?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of inexplicable, and Brown has not been a big offensive factor in this tournament, as we mentioned. 3 for 10, did not hit his first field goal until 33 minutes into the game yesterday. Tyson inside, and that will be an offensive foul, no basket.
Alsmiller really set himself up well for that. Hopefully he didn't hit his head. You got to tuck your head on that. Ooh, he twisted his ankle.
That'll be the 4th team foul on the Panthers. Alsmiller doing a good job stepping outside the restricted circle in order to draw the charge, and then paid for it too. 11-0 run for Georgia State. Eagles drought now stretching close to 5 minutes here.
You teach kids not to take the total blow. You start leaning backwards as that man comes at you.
Juan Jackson bounce inside. O'Connell with the finish. That ends the dry spell.
Penetration, and O'Connell, you know, it was a great feed by Jackson, and they got to do more of that.
Mitchell stolen by Brown, and Brown will take it in for the layup. First basket for Brown.
Read it well as a defensive player. There was a switch. His man was trying to take O'Connell one-on-one, and he just rotated and said, okay, let me see if I can get this.
Maybe that'll get him going.
Oh, he's got to play big time. I agree.
Williams, the drive. There's contact with O'Connell, and that will be O'Connell's first personal foul and the 6th team foul on Georgia Southern.
Southern's going to put him in a one-on-one here very quickly, and just halfway through the first half.
Isaiah Williams with the free throw. Panthers now 7 of 10 at the free throw line. The Eagles have not taken a free throw yet. And as you mentioned, one more foul by Georgia Southern. The Panthers will be shooting the bonus the rest of the way.
And the Panthers are a penetrating kind of offensive team. They're going to go to the basket.
8-point lead. Panthers have led by as much as 10. Brown, there's contact, banks it in. They will not count the basket.
That's the kind of shot he's got to get.
Yep.
He's got to get in there. And he's not the only one. Alsmiller's got to do that. Pull up short, take that jump shot. Good ball screen.
In the NBA, that counts as a basket and a free throw opportunity. And I think it should be here too, but Brown's going to inbound.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't count it.
Foul coming on the floor before the shot, according to the officials. Jackson scoops it up there, left it a little short, and last touch by the Eagles.
Jackson, good drive into the middle. Alsmiller was over there on that wing wide open. One more pass, and you got a 93%. No, 93% of his shots come from there, but a man that can knock that down. He's got to knock it down.
9.5 to play. Here in the first half, Kane Williams drops it off for Sessions, who damages it.
On the penetration, Jackson stayed out and it didn't rotate down in, and he was the only man that could help.
Brown working against Mitchell. Spin move, lost his balance. Foul's going to be called on Georgia State. And that'll be the 16th foul on the Panthers.
Good penetration, good feed right to him.
Jeff Thomas in the lineup for Georgia
Defense
State.
all got caught up on the drive. Can't do that. And they did have a help side man over there, but Jones just didn't rotate over.
So next foul on the Panthers puts the Eagles in the bonus for the rest of the way.
They've got that defense spread out. That isn't compact by any stretch of the imagination. So you've got angles and areas that you can drive the ball.
Brown with 4 on the shot clock. Goes by Mitchell, high off the glass. O'Connell missed the slam, and it bounces off the top of the backboard.
But he's doing a good job of staying opposite the ball, and on those shots, he's taking himself right to the bucket in hopes of, if that doesn't go in, getting a rebound.
Would you not agree, Coach? The Eagles, their chances of win hinge on Tukey Brown's ability to start hitting those penetrating shots.
Oh, I agree with that.
Without that, they can't win this game.
I agree with that. And then he's got to have help from Hughes or Smith.
Thomas, the three-pointer. Thomas with 13 points. This guy has been the most valuable player for the Panthers so far in this tournament. 32 points total now for Thomas in the first game plus 12 minutes. And a foul on Session, and that'll put Hughes at the line and also puts the Eagles in the bonus for the rest of the half.
Hughes came from the other wing underneath the basket, and they were all caught up. And we're going to watch a three-point shot. And boys, you're right, Thomas is doing a great job. And Hughes just slipped underneath the basket, and they were all caught up in Tukey, and Tukey found him.
Hughes, a good free throw shooter, 76%. First free throw of the day for the Eagles. And Ike Smith comes in for Alsmiller, who goes to the bench. But the point you were making about Brown is well taken. Brown penetrates, and then Ike Smith and Mike Hughes have to be able to hit the threes from the wing.
Without question. Or slip into a gap where you can pitch it to them and they can get a quick shot. That's the way they got to play.
Simons working against Quan Jackson, drives and lays it in. Super job by DeMarcus Simons right there to get his first bucket of the game.
He changed direction 2 different times on that drive.
Tukey drives and hits the floater. It's starting to heat up.
Well,
this is more like the Tukey we're used to seeing.
Absolutely. But he set it up with a ball fake, and the whole defense jumped to the right, and then he went right down the lane.
Pass inside Session, whipped to the corner. Nobody was covering. Devin Mitchell, who took advantage of that and hit his first 3 of the game. That's the 5th 3 for the Panthers. They're up 14.
Hughes rotated over under the high post and left the shooter wide open.
Hughes gets inside, scoops it up there. Wild shot. Kane Williams breakout for the Panthers. Will take it. Contact and got the basket. Whoa, what a shot by Kane Williams. Ball hung on the rim for Kane Williams. Got it and won when we get back.
Touch. And you know, he's that X factor involved because, all right, you get caught up in Simons and some of the others, and then all of a sudden, Thomas is just burying you with his ability to score so consistently from the three-point area.
4th-year junior out of Norwalk, Ohio, Cade Thomas averaged only 10 points per game during the regular season, but he scored 19 in the opening win against Troy, and he's got 13 here today in the first 13 minutes. Kane Williams at the line to try to complete the three-point play. And a 17-point lead for Georgia State.
Oh, see, he's slow, taking the ball over to Hughes, who was wide open over there.
Ben Levy is called for the foul. That's number 2 on him. And so 1 and 1 for Quan Jackson.
Jackson is an athlete. I mean, he's quick. He can penetrate the ball. You know, he's what they call a slicer.
Jackson, redshirt freshman guard out of Tallahassee, averaging 7 points per game. He's got 4 here. Six and a half to play. Panthers up 16. Williams. He'll go back to the line. Kane Williams really exhibiting his skill as a slasher and penetrator here in the first half.
See what they're doing is they're keeping, meaning the Panthers, are keeping their offense up high, using ball screens, and that was a middle ball screen, and now giving those perimeter guys an opportunity to drive the ball to the basket. And thus far, the Eagles haven't had an answer.
Kane Williams averaging only 3.5 points per game. The freshman out of Douglasville, Georgia, in the Atlanta area, played at South Paulding High School. And Kane Williams now has 5 points. 18-point lead for Georgia State. Eagles shooting just 27% in this game. And Brown banks in a three-pointer. That's his first three-pointer of this tournament, and he's a 48% three-point shooter for the season. Inside Session, nobody picked him up.
There was a man down low with him who rotated up to the wing and left him standing wide open underneath the basket.
Hughes answers with a three-pointer. So after hitting only one three-pointer in the first 13-plus minutes, the Eagles have had 2 on back-to-back possessions. We'll see if that gets them ignited here so they can climb back in this game. They're down 14 with 5 to play in the first half. Kane Williams inside the arc off the iron. Brown will bring it up for Georgia Southern. Ike Smith. Kane Williams the rebound.
See, Smith is a 29% three-point shooter, but he could get in 2 or 3 steps there, and then off of Cooper's pass, he's got about a 17-foot shot.
Nearly stolen by Jackson, ends up in the hands of Simons instead, who takes advantage of the misplaced defense, drives the baseline and banks it in.
Brown just couldn't hang on to it, but it was a good defensive play. And then the defense didn't react on the help side.
Great pass inside. O'Connell couldn't finish it, however, and then he gets his own miss, and he'll go to the line. What a pass by Tukey Brown, however.
See, that's what, Neal needs to just hide back there and slide from side to side. That's what he did. But as you can see, he's leaning backwards, and he's got to change his weight and go towards the bucket instead of falling away.
It's a tremendous pass. You just want your guy to finish it. Get a pass like that, man, you want to get the finish. O'Connell has a chance to make it up here with a couple of free throws. And it was 1 and 1. I guess it was not a shooting foul, in which the foul was called. It was on the rebound instead. Thomas shovels the ball to Session. Timeout marked Byington. Georgia State rolling up 18. What a pass by Thomas, who's putting on a show here in New Orleans.
Penetrated, and the defense just rotated up, and he was wide open underneath the basket.
I thought Byington had called a timeout. He had not. They're going to wait for the under 4 to take that timeout. which will come naturally on the first dead ball after the 4-minute mark. 18-point lead, Georgia State. Jackson drives and banks it in. Nicely done by Jackson, who elevated, got his hand up over the rim, and banked it in off the glass.
He's a good athlete and he handles the ball well. I think he could have come up with that pass right there. He was in position to do it. A lot of switching on their defense.
Session inside, Wild off the glass. Foul is going to be called on Gladden. And Georgia State really trying to take advantage of the Eagles' lack of size in the middle. Georgia State leads by 16. Georgia Southern playing for a spot in the championship game of this Sun Belt tournament, where they would meet UT Arlington in a spectacular first semifinal today. The Mavericks upset the #1 seed, Ragin' Cajuns, 71-68.
And Neal again put on quite a show.
Session at the line. Whitney was in the Georgia Southern huddle. What was Coach Byington telling his guys?
Guys, they all just want to play one play at a time, but he said, I want you all to win these next 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if we're leading or losing, but go into the half with a positive note.
They're down 18 right now.
Yeah, he isn't going to be leading, but the concept is very good. You know, just play, get a little bit closer. See, Osmiller, he's got that man rushing out at him. Benlevy, let Benlevy go by. Get in a little closer.
Osmiller's now 0 for 5. Georgia Southern, after starting 5 for 20, had hit 4 of their last 6 until that missed by Osmiller. The Panthers have hit 10 of their last 11 after starting 2 of 8. It's reflected in the scoreboard. Mitchell, three-pointer, rim out, rebound Gladden. Tukey, Kane Williams was riding him on the shoulder, and Williams is called for the foul. That'll be #1 on him, and that's the 10th team foul on Georgia State. So double bonus for Georgia Southern for the final 2:52 of this half.
Brown needs to continue to just penetrate. Get him the ball, let him do that, and play from there.
Jeff Thomas returns to the lineup for Georgia State. Mike Hughes in for Georgia Southern.
Brown with a team-leading 8 points. Eagles now 4 of 7 at the foul line. Simons barely grazed the iron, and it's last touched by Georgia Southern. Two and a half to play in the half. Mitchell lost it into Gladden's hands. Gladden lost it. Saves it to Brown. Brown spin move like Perry Sanders was fouled on the play. He'll go to the line for 2.
He's got a great spin move, and it is quick, and he's under control on it.
I think if I did this, I'd get dizzy.
Yeah, a little bit of a fake, and you'd end up like a pretzel.
Brown with the free throw. He's now got 9.
Their heads are still up, though, the Eagles. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just keep fighting. Keep fighting.
Down 16. Coach Byington encouraging his team to make a strong finish here in the first half. If they could perhaps get it below 10, just a little positive momentum for this team heading into the second half. Remember, they took the game over against ULM. They fell behind 38-37 and then went on a 14-2 run to win that game against the Warhawks yesterday. Inside session, and again, the Panthers exploiting the lack of size for the Eagles inside.
And Thomas made a great feed. I was looking for him to shoot it, and he just gave it up. Excellent offensive play.
Alsmiller again misses. He's 0 for 6. Finlevy, three-pointer. Rebound, Alsmiller gets it to Brown.
Not a very good shot. It was forced. Too much pressure.
Smith hits the floater on the baseline. Ike Smith, that is his first basket of the game. He averages 11.
The more you shot fake, the way the Georgia State comes at you, the better chance you've got of going by them and pulling up short for jump shots or floaters.
Less than a minute to play in the half. Shot clock at 5. Isaiah Williams goes by Alsmiller. Pass fake, and he got fouled. Got bailed out right there. I don't know that he was going to end up with a good shot in the lane, and they bail him out with the foul.
I don't either, and then Alsmiller didn't play him right because Alsmiller isn't as good an athlete, and he's got to give him more of a cushion. Instead, he played him too tight, that far out, and he just got beat going to the bucket. I mean, Williams is going to beat you.
Quan Jackson returns for Georgia Southern. Along with Sean O'Connell, into the game for Georgia State, Kane Williams.
Just couldn't get in front of him. He goes to the bench for the final 44 seconds here. Isaiah Williams with the free throw. Panthers now 15 of 18 at the foul line in this first half, and they're up by 17 again. Their largest lead has been 18. Tukey's going to let it roll across half court and then finally pick it up. And nice touch. That's his fourth basket. Timeout. Ron Hunter not happy. They let Tukey get in the paint and get that shot. He's got 12. As we take a look at the Golden Flake bracket, and the winner of this ball game will play the UT Arlington Mavericks in the championship game, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock local time here in New Orleans tomorrow. And that game will be televised on ESPN2.
And if you talk about somebody who can penetrate into a zone,
Eric Neal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, they're going from from the frying pan to the fire on that one. But Tukey's doing a good job.
There's Scott Cross, the head coach of the Mavericks, has his team in the Sun Belt Championship game for the first time ever. They went to the NCAA tournament back in 2008 when they won the Southland Conference. That's the only NCAA tournament appearance in Mavericks program history. A difference of 4 seconds, game clock and shot clock here in the first half. Williams at the elbow. Rebound Gladden with 8, and a timeout called by the Eagles with 7.2.
Now, you know the ball's going to be in Brown's hands, and if I were the Panthers, I'd trap him right away and make him give the ball up to somebody else and make them shoot the last shot.
Tough shooting half for the Eagles, 36.7%. They've got 11 makes on 30 attempts. They're 3 for 11 on their threes, while the Panthers are 13 of 24, 54%, and 5 of 9 on their threes. And the Panthers have hit 15 free throws on 18 attempts, while the Eagles are 6 of 9.
Panthers have done a great job getting the ball, going to the basket, and creating significant problems for the Eagles defense.
In particular, Session with 12 points, 5 of 5, and 5 rebounds inside. Without Monte Glenn, they don't really have a rim protector against a guy like him. 4 seconds. Hughes at the buzzer, and that is the end of the first half.
First half, He said, we have to win the first 4 minutes of the second half.
See, that's really a good comment. He's breaking it down into small pieces and saying, okay, let's win this short little battle, and then we'll go from there.
Eagles start on offense. It's going to start with making some shots. And Ike Smith drops it off inside for O'Connell. O'Connell couldn't come away with it. The Panthers bring it across to Marcus Simons with 6 points in that first half. Jeff Thomas and Jordan Session, the big guns for the Panthers in the first half. Session comes out to get it, 12 points. He'd scored 21 points in his previous 9 games against the Eagles, and he's got 12 here today. Devin Mitchell, nothing, and the rebound, Session.
Alsmiller went over his back.
Got fouled on the play, and Alsmiller picks up his second personal foul.
Travel. A lot of switching by the Eagles, and they try to keep defensive position as a result of this. All of the switches on the ball screen. Again, get the ball in Tukey's hands and let's penetrate.
And Tukey does that, and the follow by O'Connell. They were going to wave off the basket, offensive interference.
I think it was a good call. I think the ball was above the cylinder. Interestingly, Georgia Southern doesn't rotate up to try and steal that pass when they throw it across court in that three-quarter court press.
Jeff Thomas in and out. Session over the back this time as he picks up his first personal foul. Sessions, senior out of McDonough, Georgia, there in the Atlanta area, south of the city. Eagles Landing High School. A lot of Georgia kids on these two rosters helps fuel the rivalry. So not only do they play against each other in college, they play against each other in high school and AAU ball. And Alsmiller continues with the bagel from the floor. He is now 0 for 7 on three-point attempts. Actually, that was a 2. He's 1 for 8 on his 2s overall. And he's 0 for 6. He's 1 for 8 overall and 1 for 2 on his 2s. How about that?
Yeah, but he used better judgment there by using that shot fake and getting in a little closer.
Thomas the miss. Got it back.
Tukey took off and to try and score quickly. If he'd have stayed put, he could have come up with that long rebound.
Mitchell,
yep.
Basket, offensive foul, basket won't count.
Alsmiller did a great job of sliding over. He really reads that well. That's one area he's been able to contribute right now. He's got to get some buckets down there.
Mitchell with 3 personal fouls. Yeah, if Alsmiller could start hitting his 3 like he's able to do, then they could get back in this game. Ike Smith, 3-point on his way, and it's no good. 3 for 13 for the Eagles.
Smith's only a 29% three-point shooter.
Session flips it in over his shoulder. That's the first basket for either team in this half. Took nearly 3 minutes to get it.
Simons made a nice pass as he penetrated and dropped the ball down as the defense honed in on him.
Tukey the miss, and Ike Smith got in there and got the offensive rebound and put back. Just his second bucket. Full court pressure here by the Eagles. Thomas got stripped. Ike Smith comes up with the steal as he runs it across half court. Tukey on the drive, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Jeff Thomas.
I think Thomas was inside the restricted area.
Third personal foul on Jeff Thomas, so Tukey Brown has a chance at a 3-point play.
See, there are gaps in that thing. Yeah, see, his heels on that doggone thing. His right foot wasn't stationary.
Isaiah Williams.
So Devin Mitchell comes out. Isaiah Williams comes in for Georgia State. Quan Jackson's going to come in for Alsmiller.
Quan Jackson.
I thought Jackson did a good job while he was in there. Quick.
He brings energy.
Yes, he does.
Better
Penetrated.
defensively, gives you a little bit better defensive presence. Maybe not the three-point shooter that Alsmiller is, but Alsmiller's not hitting the three right now.
Interestingly enough, the Panthers aren't really trying to exploit that press and attack it.
Isaiah Williams hits the floater.
Isaiah Williams.
He can elevate too, which really helps him on that shot.
He's now got 9. That was his second basket. He's also 4 for 4 at the line. 14-point lead for the Panthers. Jackson lost the dribble, had the pass knocked out of bounds by Williams, and a timeout. 4 minutes, 19 seconds into the second half. Georgia State still up by. Tickets punched, 26 conferences represented. Sun Belt ticket will be punched tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central Time. UT Arlington against the winner of this game. UT Arlington in the Sun Belt final for the first time ever. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, both trying to get there for the first time since 2015 when the Panthers beat the Eagles in the championship game 38-36. Gladden at the line for Georgia Southern.
Returning the line for Georgia State, number
First point of the
44,
game for
Devin
Gladden.
Mitchell.
They need to continue to just penetrate, but they've got to complete some plays out on the perimeter, and they haven't been able to do that.
Off the hands of, no, a foul's going to be called on Ike Smith, and that'll be number 2 on him. After Session had picked up his second personal foul, putting Gladden on the line. Inside, Jordan Session gonna bank it in. I mean, he has not had a shot that was further out than 4 feet.
No, and there was a switch, and now Tukey's trying to guard him, and, you know, it's a real mismatch.
In the corner, 3-pointer for Ike Smith. That's his first of the day, and just the 4th for the Eagles.
Panthers have not had any problems with that press, but I'm not sure that the Eagles are trying to really take the ball away from them.
Simons got stripped by Ike Smith, ends up in the hands of Gladden. Gladden running the point there on the break, and Hughes misses the 3-point shot. Tough break when you get the steal, you get a break like that, you get a chance to maybe hit a 3 and cut it below 10, and then you missed the shot. Another opportunity here for the Eagles as Hughes stepped through, got fouled on his drive and shot. He'll go to the line for 2.
The most impressive part about that whole thing was, okay, he misses the shot on the last sequence, but he didn't put his head down. He just kept playing and came up with another play.
Yep, got the steal from Simons and then took it all the way in, and he'll go to the line. Hughes over 1,300 career points in his career.
You know, it's only an 11-point lead.
It is. I mean, they're that close to getting right back in this game.
Yeah.
They just need a couple of stops defensively, which they have been getting. And they got to hit some shots, which they are starting to do. And now it's a 10-point game.
And that press may become a little bit more assertive.
Well, if nothing else, it just slows down Georgia State offensively so that they wind down and get late in the shot clock. Nearly threw it away. Benlevy saved it. Isaiah Williams, three-pointer. And the long rebound is chased down by O'Connell. He was being held by Kane Williams. They didn't whistle anything there. Chance to cut it below 10. Hughes goes right at Session. They call him for traveling.
And they are picking that zone apart. I mean, they're doing just a great job, but they haven't been able to complete enough plays to make it really competitive.
So Hughes comes out of the game. They get Quan Jackson back in. Or maybe David Lee Jones came in for him, pardon me. Under 13 and a half to play. Georgia Southern, as close as they've been in quite some time, it's down to 10.
That could have easily been a charge.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Ball tipped away by Gladden. Benlevy has to go back to get it. 2 on the clock. He has to heave it. And that's going to be a shot clock violation on the Panthers. And that was B.J. Gladden. He really did that by deflecting that pass into the backcourt. Great defensive play by Gladden.
The Eagles right now are a little bit quicker than they were earlier, and they're a little bit more assertive.
And I think, and you pointed out with the full court press, they have not gotten any turnovers out of it, but I think it's disrupted the Panthers enough offensively that Georgia State has now gone over 2 minutes without scoring.
Well, what they've done is they've become a little bit more passive.
Jackson on a step back. Ball up in the air, and Session beat Gladden to it. On the shot clock. Benlevy with 5 on the clock, and he hit it.
Good skip pass. Defense had sucked in and weren't able to get out in time.
Offensive foul, David Lee Jones.
Offensive foul charged to David Lee Jones.
That'll be his 3rd personal foul.
Number 3.
3rd team foul on the Eagles. And Alsmiller will come in.
For the Eagles, Jake Alsmiller.
And Jones will go to the bench. And Gladden's going to come out too. So they got Ike Smith back out on the floor. Weave up top.
A lot less time to do what they want to do. We got travel.
And a traveling call with 6 on the shot clock, and we have a timeout. 11:40 to play. Georgia Southern hanging around, trying to get it under double digits. They trail by 13.
And then they turned it over some. I think they would have been better served, especially with their size, attacking that basket and really going after the thing.
Eagles back on offense. They're down 13 with 11 and a half minutes to play. Spot in the Sun Belt Championship game on the line here. O'Connell inside and one.
Ball fake by Tukey, set it up. Looked like he was going to throw it over here to the wing. And he just rifled it over there. Great pass.
That's the second time that Tukey Brown has been able to hit O'Connell in the paint with a pass. The first time in the first half, he was unable to complete the play. This time he took care of
To
business.
see he had better balance, and he had more of his weight going at the basket.
Tyson the rebound for Georgia State as the lead stays 11. Kane Williams inside and gets it to go in. Kane Williams, the freshman, you can see that he's going to be a big part of the Panthers' future going forward.
Well, that was a great move. Great spin move.
Ike Smith lost the dribble. O'Connell hops on top of the ball. And they call jump ball. Possession now favors the Panthers.
Eagles can ill afford those kind of turnovers.
And Tukey Brown's going to come out of the ball game.
Not sure about that move, unless he just requested a quick break.
Blocking foul on Alsmiller. Third foul on him.
One of the few times the Panthers have tried to attack out of that press.
Team foul, number 4.
Had to be in the, that was close. I was going to say he had to be in the restricted area, but I'm not sure whether he was totally in or in at all.
Four on the shot clock. Kane Williams will fire, and over the back, Simons called for the foul. Simons picks up his 4th personal foul. Sunbelt Player of the Year, only 6 points today with 4 personal fouls. And he'll come out of the ball game, and Ben Levy will check in for him.
Jackson's not a good free throw shooter. If they can get one out of this, they'll be fortunate.
Brown back in for the Eagles, and Alsmiller will go to the bench. Georgia Southern 10 for 15 on their free throws today. Just over 10 minutes to play in this semifinal. Panthers have enjoyed a double-digit lead for most of the game.
But the Panthers have slowed their momentum down by playing at speed that really is not conducive to attacking and creating the problems that they did in the first half.
Yeah, they've scored only 11 points here in the second half after scoring 46 in the first 20 minutes. So the Eagles, and I think it's the full court press, the Eagles have slowed them down.
Great job by Jackson. He was getting killed inside and he stepped around him. Didn't need that.
Foul called on O'Connell underneath.
Foul charge to number 11, Shot O'Connell.
That'll be his 2nd personal, 5th team foul on Georgia Southern.
Number 5 on the Eagles.
Under 9.5 to play. Four on the clock. Williams drives and rebound O'Connell. O'Connell's got 3 boards, 4 points today as Brown brings it across for the Eagles, 9 to play. Foul on the Panthers. This one's on Isaiah Williams, I believe.
Yeah, he reached in. It was an easy call. The official standing right there.
Third personal foul on him, so Brown is...
In for Georgia State is Devin Mitchell.
Brown is at the line for 2.
1-1.
Pardon me, this is the 1-1. Panthers with 18 fouls. (57-45).
You notice the Eagles aren't in the lane there for a rebound. Should Tukey miss? That's interesting.
I guess they don't think he's going to miss.
Yeah, they don't have anybody that can get the rebound. Oh, you good hands.
Jackson comes up with the steal, and then Ben Levy fouls him in the backcourt.
Ben Levy just pushed him to prevent him from getting the ball.
And that'll be the second personal foul on Ben Levy. That's the 9th team foul on the Panthers. That's the first time that press has resulted in a turnover. Jackson at the line, a chance if he could get these 2 free throws right here. It's the 1-1 to get it below 10. Then misses the front end of the 1-1. 8.5 to go.
Panthers have gotten mismatches, but they've never been able to exploit them.
Ben Levy in the corner, and the rebound controlled by Devin Mitchell. Mitchell goes right back at it, missed the layup. And Jackson the rebound for Georgia Southern. Ike Smith, and the Eagles have cut it below 10 for the first time, and it seems like forever. It's an 8-point game.
Tukey Brown was telling, put that ball in the corner, and bingo. There was no defensive man rotating, and Ike Smith had an easy shot.
7.5 to go. Georgia Southern down only 8 now. Mitchell, he's off the mark. Rebound, Jackson. Here comes Georgia Southern. Brown across half court. Going to go right at him. And a foul's going to be called on Georgia State. Eagles have outscored the...
Well, if we look at the game in its entirety, Georgia State was driving early in the game, and Georgia Southern had no answers. Now all of a sudden, Georgia Southern has really driven the ball, and keeps going to the free throw line. And they've hit 1 or 2 perimeter jump shots, but other than that, it's been go at the bucket.
Eagles are now 7 of 11 at the free throw line in this half, and coach, the Panthers have not taken a free throw.
Yeah, the roles have been reversed, and you hit it on the head, Matt, when you said, I think that press, although it's not stealing the ball, just slowed the Panthers down where they were just kind of walking around.
Well, it's at 22 as they get it across the half-court line, and Ben Levy has to call a timeout here. I mean, they're just really slow getting into their offense, and, you know, they're getting maybe one good look at the basket in their 30 seconds on the shot clock.
And that's the most assertive and aggressive I've seen the Panthers defense.
After they trailed by as much as 18 in this game, Whitney, what did he tell his team in the huddle?
He walked up to his team. He said, "That's the team I know. That is the team I know." He said, "You all are being aggressive and you're playing confidently. That's the team I know." So slowly but surely, like you said, they're chipping away. So we'll have to see how the Panthers respond.
Yeah, and while the Eagles have been aggressive, the Panthers have been very passive. At least that's the way I see it offensively. Simons goes right at it. There's going to be a foul on the floor, not on the shot. And that'll be the 16th foul on Georgia Southern. Gladden picks up the personal. It's his second.
The defense went way out on him and allowed the Panthers to have angles to take the ball and go to the basket. And the best offensive player on the floor just took it and said, "Okay, I can go to the hoop."
Thomas been quiet for quite some time now. Isaiah Williams hits a three-pointer. That's his second. It's the 7th, just the second for the Panthers in the half as they climb back up by 9. Jackson. Foul going to be called on Session, and that will be number 4 on him. So 3 Panthers now with 4 fouls.
See, Tukey should have rotated down and tried to put pressure on their shot. I'm not sure it would have done any good, but he just kind of stood and watched because everybody else was kind of collapsing inside to prevent the ball from going in there.
So Session, Mitchell, and Simons all have 4 fouls.
And it would help the Eagles' cause if Jackson could get some of these free throws he's getting in.
Jackson 1 for 4 at the foul line.
His technique is pretty good. For being a 50% free throw shooter, his technique would indicate that he's better than that.
And the only stat you have to look at to back up what we were saying about the Eagles have been the aggressor and the Panthers passive. Georgia Southern is 9 for 14 at the foul line in this half, and the Panthers have not taken a free throw.
Yeah, that usually is a clear indication of what's going on out on the floor.
Simons through the lane, down to 7 on the shot clock. Reach-in foul on Jackson. That'll put Jeff Thomas at the line for the 1-and-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure it wasn't on Tukey. Yeah.
It is on Tukey, you're right. Second personal foul on him. So Jeff Thomas at the line. Thomas had 13 at the half. He still has 13. And he still has 13.
I was going to say, you were pretty prophetic on that one.
Jackson's pass fumbled out of bounds by Hughes.
Not sure it was a really good pass. Looked like he lost the ball. But their spirits continue to, be good, and I'm not sure what the Panthers are a step slow in this half.
And again, here's that full court press, and it just does a really good job of slowing down Georgia State. Has changed the tempo of this game. Kind of watch the clock here. When do the Panthers really get a look at the basket? We're down to 12, and they haven't really looked at the basket yet. Now we're below 10, and still no look at the basket. Simon's going to put the ball in motion now and drive, and one. No offensive foul on Simons, and he's fouled out. DeMarcus Simons, the player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference, just fouled out with 6 points.
And you know what? It's a good call. It's a good call. Jackson did a great job of getting over there and getting planted long before there was contact.
He is done for the rest of this game with 5+ minutes to play. Hughes in the paint. Lost the ball out of his hands.
You go in there, you better go in there strong and hanging on to the ball Thomas was telling him, yeah, he fouled you.
And the Panthers turn it over. That's the second turnover that this press has produced.
Yeah, and that was an unforced. I mean, there wasn't pressure on Kane. He just threw the ball away.
But now 16 turnovers as Tukey Brown gets in there and gets the basket. The lead is back down to 6 with just under 5 minutes to play. On the shot clock. 9. Isaiah Williams 7. 4 on the clock, and Williams had a three-point shot blocked by Ike Smith. And a foul called on Georgia State. Isaiah Williams picks up his 4th personal. So now 3, Panthers with 4, and Simons has fouled out.
Hughes blocked it. Smith blocked it and then just went after it and got pushed.
Panthers led by 15 at halftime, 46-31. They've been outscored 24-14 here in the second half. 46 points in the first 20 minutes, and then you score 14 points in the next 15-plus minutes. How do you explain that? Down to a 4-point game. And Simons fouling out was just 6 points, ends his streak of 49 consecutive games in double figures. Quan Jackson whistled for the foul.
Yeah, he went after it. Instead of moving his feet, he tried to get his hand in there and knock it away.
It's the first foul on him, so Kane Williams at the line shooting the 1-and-1. Got the bounce and the drop.
%70 free throw shooter, so I'm not surprised if he doesn't get them both.
Hughes the rebound. 4 minutes to play. 5-point lead for Georgia State. But the momentum belongs to the Eagles. Brown in traffic. Session the rebound. He's got 9 rebounds, and now a timeout on the floor. 5-point game. Conference, and by Community Coffee. Taste the difference family makes. Georgia Southern on a 12-4 run. Plus 15 for Georgia State in the first half. Plus 10 for Georgia Southern in the second half. And that's your 5-point difference as we are now at 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Three on the shot clock. Williams drives and gets it. Isaiah Williams taking over as the scoring leader here with DeMarcus Simons fouled out and having scored only 6 points. Williams has 14. Session actually is the leading scorer right now. Alsmiller takes another 3. That's his first 3-point attempt of the second half. And like the first half, he misses. He's 0 for 7 on his threes. Under 3 minutes to play. Panthers by 7.
Well, they got all that switching, and now they got a little guy on a little guy.
Williams fires and hits another 3.
Big basket right there.
The 5th-year senior guard out of Buford, Georgia in the Atlanta area. Started his college career at Samford. Hits a big one right there, and the Panthers are up 10. Ike Smith kicks to Tukey Brown. Blocking foul on Georgia State. And Ben Levy has picked up his third personal.
Panthers did a great job of moving that ball, but how about this shot? I mean, you talk about a step back big time with the clock running down. And I was just asking you, okay, who's going to hit the big shot without Simons on the floor? I think I got my answer.
Yeah, Isaiah Williams, he has 10 of his 17 points here in the second half. And the Panthers on a 6-0 run after Georgia Southern had cut it to 4 for the first time since 17-13 in this game. Ike Smith gets another 8-point game. Eagles 13 of 18 at the foul line in this half. Two minutes to play. Five on the clock. Isaiah Williams attacks the basket. Missed the layup. Jackson the rebound for Georgia Southern. Man down for the Panthers. Allsmiller in the corner. Misses the three. Ike Smith gets the rebound. And jump ball called. The possession arrow in favor of the Eagles. And a timeout called by the Eagles.
30-second timeout, Eagles.
.139 to play for embarking on their NCAA tournament run that resulted in an upset win over Baylor behind R.J. Hunter.
Now the Eagles, interestingly enough, got Brown taking the ball out of bounds. Are they going to go with a three, which they haven't been very successful? I just think they need to continue to take the ball and go to the basket like that.
And that's what Ike Smith will do with the reverse layup. Beautifully done by Ike Smith, the junior, out of Gainesville, Florida. It's back to a 6-point game. Trouble with the dribble, but Kane Williams gets it across to Isaiah Williams. Now Kane has it back, 16 on the shot clock.
You don't need to go out that far and guard him, but you're just going to give him an angle.
Offensive foul on Kane Williams.
Offensive foul for number 12, Kane Williams.
His fourth.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, he stuck his arm right out there into the chest of Tukey Brown, and Tukey did a good job of selling it, make sure the officials saw it. 71 seconds to go.
Now again, take the ball and go to the basket. Tukey's got a three. Okay, you're going to have to live with some of that.
One minute remaining.
And a whistle, standing on the sideline. Ike Smith took that pass with his foot on the sideline. What a costly mistake with 59 seconds to go.
Now that press has to be a little bit more assertive and aggressive now because they need the ball. Oh, if Thomas just goes back, there's nobody back there to guard him.
Ball comes into Thomas. He's in a double team. Ball intercepted by Jackson. Jackson will go right at the hoop and get the basket, and he was fouled. What a huge play by Quan Jackson.
He read that well. He read that passing lane very, very well. Right there, he was clear on the other side of the floor. And what a foolish foul.
13th turnover of the half for Georgia State.
I tell you, that young man's got a bright future in front of him.
9 points for Jackson. His 10th point cuts it to a 3-point game with 53 seconds to go.
Now it's different.
They can play it straight up.
Exactly. He almost went after that one.
15 seconds on the shot clock. Game clock down to 33 now with 10.
I think Williams is going to take it and go.
6 on the shot clock. Isaiah Williams, 3 on the shot clock. Pass was kicked by Ike Smith, and that will reset the clock to 20 seconds. What an unfortunate break for Georgia Southern. The clock was down to 2, and Isaiah Williams was trying to bounce pass to nowhere.
And was forcing it in, and you don't kick it, you let it go. You got to know how much time, and right now, Mike Hughes is hurt. I don't know whether he hurt his ankle or his knee or what, but he went down, walking it off, and hopefully he's okay.
My goodness, they've had trouble with injuries. Monte Glenn, their top big man, number 2 offensive rebounder in the country. He's out for the rest of the tournament, injured his knee in practice on Wednesday. And now Mike Hughes goes to the bench with 23.7 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, the way he's pointing, it looks like he tweaked his ankle a little bit.
Now the shot clock goes back to 20 seconds. That's just a devastating blow here for Georgia Southern. Do you foul here? Or do you play it out? Because the Panthers can run it almost all the way down to the end of the game. Ben Levy calls a timeout, unable to get the ball in bounds.
No, I think you gotta fight to steal the ball on the inbound, and then what you gotta do is you gotta stop the clock. You can't let them run it down. It's really important, and you know, getting the ball in bounds, Matt, isn't necessarily an easy task offensively. So you got to be careful that you don't illegally screen, you don't read somebody cutting one way when they go another way, and the onus really is on them to get that ball in bounds and then try to get it to Williams, and then let's see who the Eagles decide to foul.
Only 20 points for the Panthers here in this second half after scoring 46 in the first. Devin Mitchell fired the ball and 3. He didn't have to do that, and it went in anyway. He thought the shot clock was at 1 or 2 with 20 seconds. His teammates are shaking their heads, but it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. Jackson misses. Isaiah Williams, now they've got to foul him, and Alsmiller does. Devin Mitchell had no idea what he was doing, but it worked.
I thought he drew it up in a timeout. No, I'm being facetious.
Holy smokes.
He had no idea what was going on.
He took the inbounds with 20 seconds on the shot clock, thinking that there was 1 on the shot clock, and he hit the 3, falling out of bounds. Oh my goodness.
And Coach Hunter is over there saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Well, the good news is for the Panthers is they may survive that crazy mistake. Isaiah Williams at the line for the 1-and-1. Unbelievable. And a 7-point lead for Georgia State with 11.2 to go.
Now the Eagles have got to get it down quickly, get it to the basket. If they got a wide open 3, fine. Just don't force it.
That's a candidate for Sports Center, not top 10. Now 11 seconds to go. And Tukey Brown lays it in. That's one of those rare plays, Coach, that's a candidate for the not top 10 and the top 10.
That's unbelievable. That's a difficult shot to make.
Time now to salute our Under Armour player of the game. And it's going to go to Isaiah Williams, who really kind of took things over offensively for the Panthers in the second half.
Oh, I thought he stepped up big time, and especially with Simons being a non-factor, he hit big shots, big free throws, and that 3 out on top as the shot clock ran down was really important.
19 points, 3 3-pointers, 6 of 6 at the foul line. Isaiah Williams, our Under Armour player of the game.
And that just kind of took the monkey off of the Panthers' back because they're all kind of laughing and, you know, feel relieved because with 11 seconds or 6 seconds to go, it's tough to score 6 points.
Game not over yet, though. The Eagles are within 6 with 6.7. It's not out of the realm of possibility here. The officials, Pat Evans,
Earlier today, it was number 4, UTA.
is over there to look. I think they want to make sure they've got the right amount of time on the clock here.
This matchup will take on the Mavericks tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the Sun Belt Championship.
As you can see, the clock currently states there's 6.7 seconds to go. They put 0.3 of a second back on the clock. Well, no, that's not right. Now they got it right. Yeah, they put 0.3 of a second back on the clock to make it 7 full seconds left. Inbound. Kane Williams gets it into Isaiah Williams. He gets fouled. 5.8 as 1.2 ticks off, and Isaiah Williams will be at the foul line.
Good job by Coach Hunter in getting the ball into the man's hands that you want at the free throw line.
So 2 shots here for Isaiah Williams. All they have to do is take care of their business at the foul line, and Georgia State will play in the championship game tomorrow against UT Arlington. And you see the emotion for the Eagles. It's a tough thing when you lose.
Yeah, and they came close, and hats off to them in the way they battled back in the second half and made a real interesting game out of it.
That's the seniors, Gladden, Simmons, and Alsmiller all playing what will be likely their final college basketball games. Tukey Brown picks it up, races in there, gets the layup, 1 second to go. And the Panthers will play for the championship. 73-67 winners over the Eagles, and Georgia State in the championship game to take on the UT.